This is really hard.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Really hard.
Makes me want to go poopy.
So James has issued a video, one that I'm not really impressed. I don't think he's really impressed with it, and I want to deconstruct point by point. And make an example.
Oi. No. We have intercepted the message. James, what was following there was a very humiliating account on your very sad excuse for an argument. I am saving you that humiliation, and you can thank me later. Behold, and receive my introduction. My name is Bill, the Atheist Avenger. I saw your video. You're going to let a little thing like that happen and get that under your skin. You cheated on all accounts, and then you formulated a completely different argument, one of which you know that the Jerico has never made himself. Do you not think he has a counter for it? Do you think that when normally he is arguing his atheism, or rather his theism, one of those two, I am already confused, but when he is normally arguing his theism, do you not believe that if he did not have a counter to those kinds of arguments, he would have made those arguments himself? Have you ever heard him make the properly basic argument? No. Why are you wasting your time? James, you need to cut him where it cuts deepest, at his heart. Remember before he turned into this false atheist, when you were the rightful atheist, what were his pathetic arguments? It does not matter if you do not comprehend them. It does not matter if you do not think they are true. He does. You need to push him and challenge him where it counts the most. Use his own arguments against him. My job is to come in the fleeting moments of the faith and to embolden those of us who are theists. Even though you are a fake one, I find myself having to do my duty. It begins like this. You were right. In his first video to you, he gave you 3 arguments, 3 of which you tried to refute unsuccessfully. At least, so it seems, because you have turned your tail, as I say, and run. One of these arguments you cannot beat. The other argument you may be able to beat, and the last one will be very difficult to beat, but judging by your morale in that the video, let's start with the easiest first. First, the argument that you cannot beat is that you cannot believe anything on the basis of someone else's faith. If you have your own experience and you want to believe in your own faith, that is a different matter entirely. It is a red herring. It's a fallacy, don't you see? He's trying to trick you, and he succeeded. You countered by strawmanning him. Unfortunate for you, because even though his argument, this one about faith, is foolproof, it does nothing to advance his position. So, agree with him, and then watch as your enemy jaws drop, and they realize that it does nothing to advance their position. The second one, in equivocation. This bit about the lawfulness of God and the lawfulness of logic. It does not logically follow that even if God is illogical, that we could not logically come to his existence to know it. It would only mean, perhaps, that we cannot know logically his nature. But if you were to believe in something like infinite regression, or at least a counter to it, then you have the means to point to a transcendental means of maintaining this world. And that is all you need. The business about the lawfulness of this and the lawfulness of that is not in God, it was a sneaky way of equivocating. Believe me, I've tried to make the syllogism many times. He is committing a fallacy that is very, very well known to the people of what is called E prime. I kid you not. It is the work of Korzybski. I will leave you a link. It will self-destruct after you watch it, so be careful. Anyway, the problem is we are not interested in to say things like, this sound is loud and the sound is soft. You see? You might have a sound, and it's going to be loud or soft. But you cannot have loud and soft without a sound. Is can have more than one meaning in our English language, and that, my friend, is where the problem lies. E Prime would have done something bad with him, but you didn't, so shame on you. And never mind that my accent is changing, it keeps my enemies guessing where I am from. Hi, alright. Finally, he asks you, what is the alternative to empirical claims? You correctly pointed out, James, in this video that I intercepted, that you will, that you responded that I intercepted many videos, one of which you made some ridiculous argument about properly basic things. Well, the fact of the matter is, if the known world is properly basic, then our means to measure it, such as empiricism, is justified by a properly basic means that does not help you. On the contrary, if indeed this world is lawful, if indeed this world is logical, if indeed any of these things are absolutely lawful, it would require something that is indeed absolute. Either that, or the laws of their logic are not absolute, but only imagine, as we do, that it is an illusion. But that is something that you must force him to defend. That is a dicey little situation for Jonathan, the Jerico, to defend the idea that the logic is not absolute. And if it is, on what basis is it absolute, other than an absolute entity that maintains the lawfulness of this world? The bit about justifying claims other than an empirical mean. I'm jumping around a little bit. Are you clearing? Are you following? I'm just a little nervous that they're going to find me. Not really. I'm very sneaky. So sneaky that you might not even be understanding me, but you must decode this. Finally, he asked you, James. He said, what is the alternative if we are to believe that we cannot empirically know God? What is our means to deriving what is the truth about the God and the falsehood of the God? You need to ask him, by what means did we arrive at the validity of empiricism? Even the scientific method. By what means? The scientific method itself? I think not. Lucky for you. This Jerico, this false atheist, is very sentimental about the idea that science is just a subset of the philosophy. The alternative that you are to provide him is that philosophy will teach us what is right and what is not right concerning the nature of God. Au revoir, my dear friend. I am forever yours, Bill, the Theist Avenger.